mathematics and science. Dear students, in the last class, we were discussing the chapter chemical reactions and equations. Now, let's go for continuing this. And we were focusing on the important activities related to each type of chemical reactions. The first two were over, that is combination reaction. Second one is decomposition reaction. And in case of decomposition reaction, even we come across some other types as well. So before going to discuss all this, we will go for balancing 2 or 3 chemical equations. So every day we have been following the same. Now today also I am going to take few chemical equations for balancing. Right now, balance the chemical equation. Balance the chemical equation. In that one, let me go for taking very simple. It is magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid to form magnesium chloride, that is MgCl2, plus, okay, here metal reacts with acid to form salt with the liberation of hydrogen gas, right? Now let's go for balancing it. Now, directly we should go for balancing. Balanced chemical equation is here Mg plus HCl gives rise to MgCl2 plus H2 as it is. Look at it. Directly you can go for choosing the element having maximum number of atoms. Which one? Yes, chlorine has maximum number of atoms, even hydrogen also. Any one of these two can be taken. If you take chlorine, it has 2 atoms, and on the left hand side only 1 atom is there. You can balance it by multiplying 1 by 2. So here I'll write 2. Okay, 2 atoms of chlorine, 2 atoms of chlorine, and hydrogen, 2 atoms of hydrogen. Here 2 atoms of hydrogen. Now this is balanced chemical equation. Then, and one more. This will also be simple. Second one is, and it was given in the examination. Previous one was given for half marks. Now whatever I am going to give you, this was also given in the examination. It is KBr. Name the compound. Prashant sir, you may give chance to some students. KBr, it is potassium bromide. Next, another one. Plus Ba. Shall I write so? Bai. Sudarshan. Whether chemical formula, is it right? See. Bai. No, it should be. What it should be? Ba(I2). Okay, we know that where charge of barium is 2 plus and iodine is 1 minus. Crossing over charges Ba(I2). Then the compounds that are formed are, one is Ki, potassium iodide, and another one is, which is barium bromide, BaBr. Is it right, BaBr? Sudarshan, is it right, BaBr? Yes or no? No. Then what it should be? BaBr2. Because Ba2 plus Br bromide 1 minus, crossing over charges it will be BaBr2. Now it should be balanced. So I'll go for rewriting the chemical equation as balanced chemical equation is KBr as it is plus BaI2 as it is gives rise to Ki plus BaBr2. Now, could you tell which element should be chosen for balancing? Pranati, which element can be chosen? Prashant sir, you can give chance to some students. Naglakshmi.
Sir, high.
BR, sir.
Yes.
BR, sir.
You may go for using either Br, that is bromine element,
Or iodide.
iodine element, because both are maximum number of atoms. If I take iodine, it has 2 atoms on the left hand side. On the product side, we have only 1 atom. Therefore, it should be multiplied by 2. Next. Now observe. Iodine is balanced, whereas potassium, 2 atoms of potassium, here only 1 atom is there. Hence, I write 2.
Balanced.
2 atoms of potassium. Whereas bromine, 2 atoms of bromine, here 2 atoms of bromine. Balanced. 1 atom of barium, 1 atom of barium. So this is balanced chemical equation. These two were given in the examination for 1 mark, each for half mark. Both are very simple. And these are also there in your NCERT textbook. That is in exercise column. Only there. And one more, which was given in the examination. I'm going to take that. Third one is, it is aluminum chloride, AlCl3, aluminum chloride, when it reacts with ammonium hydroxide. Name the compound that are formed. See, you can observe.
Aluminum
hydroxide
plus
aluminum hydroxide, sir.
ammonium chloride.
Definitely. Very simple, Andre. Just go for observing the radicals. Here, aluminum chloride, the radicals are Al3 plus and Cl1 minus. Ammonium hydroxide, NH4 plus and OH minus. These are the radicals. When they are undergoing the chemical reaction, they usually exchange their ions or radicals to form 2 new compounds. Look here. The cation aluminum combined with anion hydroxide, it will be aluminum hydroxide. We can write it as AlOH thrice, because crossing over charges, it will be AlOH thrice plus ammonium chloride. Here also ammonium chloride, it is NH4Cl, because Cl1 minus NH4 1 plus, crossing over charges, it will be ammonium chloride. Now it should be balanced. Let's go for balancing, and before that, just write the chemical equation as it is. Chemical equation is aluminum chloride AlCl3 plus ammonium hydroxide NH4 OH gives rise to aluminum hydroxide AlOH thrice plus ammonium chloride, it is NH4Cl. Yes. Now it should be balanced. Which element can be taken?
Hydrogen, sir.
Hydrogen.
Chlorine, sir.
Chlorine. Yeah, thought. Here, your students observe. hydrogen has been distributed to two compounds. So let's go for giving preference for other element having maximum number of atoms. Just a minute. Let's not go for considering the hydrogen element. Now, we'll go for taking another element. Which one? You have to consider not today.
Chlorine, sir.
Chlorine can be taken. Next element is, we have option, that is chlorine only. It has 3 atoms. There is only 1 atom. So here is 3, here is 1. How do you go for balancing? Multiply the product by
3.
3. So here I'll write 3. 3 atoms of chlorine, 3 atoms of chlorine there also. Next, after that, now chlorine has been balanced. Next is nitrogen. We have 3 atoms of nitrogen. Here only 1 is there.
1.
So I can multiply 3 here. 3 atoms of nitrogen. Chlorine is over, nitrogen is over. Next, hydrogen, observe. Here 3 4s are 12. 12 atoms
12.
of hydrogen. Here
12 plus 3.
3 atoms of hydrogen. Next here 3 4s are 12 atoms of hydrogen. 3 4s are 12.
Balance, sir.
3 4s are 12. Yes, sir. Then 3 1s are 3. Here 3 1s are 3. 15 atoms of hydrogen. 15 atoms of hydrogen. Hydrogen is balanced. Next, oxygen. 3 atoms of oxygen. Here 3 atoms of oxygen. So this is balanced chemical equation. Hope that you have understood. Tushar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lakshmi Tia? Karthik? Did you understand? Okay. Lakshmi Tia, I did not get response. Oh, okay, nice. So today I have taken the chemical equations which were asked in the examination. This was asked for 1 mark. First one was asked for half marks. Second one was also for half marks. So please do practice. Okay, now we are moving to today's concept. As you all know that we were focusing on chemical activities related to different types of chemical reactions. In that, decomposition reaction was over. It's a chemical reaction in which a single compound gets split up into 2 or more compounds. Right? This is decomposition reaction. And through the activities, even we have come to know what are the conditions under which decomposition reaction takes place. Could you tell in how many ways decomposition reaction is carried out? 1, 2, 3.
3 ways, sir.
3 ways.
What is the
Thermal-
first condition?
Thermal decomposition.
Thermal decomposition. Electrolytic reaction.
I'm not at all asking you about the type. I'm asking the conditions. Decomposition reaction.
Heat,
Electricity, sunlight.
heat, electricity, sunlight.
and sunlight.
Second one, by passing electricity. Third one, in the presence of sunlight.
Sunlight.
So these are the 3 conditions. Please do remember. And even we have given name for each of these decomposition reactions which is carried out. The decomposition which is carried out by supplying heat is called
Thermal
decomposition.
Thermal decomposition.
the decomposition reaction which is carried out by passing electricity. It is called
Electrolysis.
Electrolytic.
electrolysis. The decomposition reaction which is carried out in the presence of sunlight is called
Photochemical reaction.
photochemical reaction or photosynthesis. Do you say that photosynthesis? Photolysis. It is photolysis or photochemical reaction. And even in yesterday's worksheet, I had given you the question with respect to this, right? And I had taken that question from your previous year question paper. For 3 marks. So yesterday you had written up to activities. Now I'm going to give you the points related to decomposition reaction. That is methods by which decomposition reaction takes place. Right now, that's side heading. Methods. Methods, nothing but conditions. Methods, in bracket you may write conditions by which decomposition reaction carried out or takes place. Methods by which decomposition reaction takes place. You all know that decomposition reaction takes place under 3 conditions. So now let me go for writing one by one. Right. Decomposition reaction takes place under 3 conditions. 3 conditions. They are first one is by supplying heat or by providing heat. Second one, by passing electricity. And third one is in the presence of sunlight. So as I said, for each we have given the names. So first one is thermal decomposition, second one is electrolysis, and third one is photolysis or photochemical reaction. So these are the 3 types of decomposition reaction as well. So I'm going to write the same. Right. Side heading, types of decomposition reaction. Types of decomposition reaction. In that first one, I'll write it as a heading only. Which is first one?
Thermal
Decomposition reaction. Then how do you go for defining this? The decomposition reaction, which is carried out by supplying heat or by providing heat, is called thermal decomposition reaction. So write the same. Thermal decomposition reaction. Thermal decomposition. What is enough? Thermal decomposition. Let me write the definition. The decomposition reaction. Please write with me. The decomposition reaction, which is carried out, by providing heat or by supplying heat. Providing heat is called thermal decomposition or thermal decomposition reaction. Hope you are written. Nishka, finished? Huh? Now, let's go for taking few examples which we are very familiar. And I'll go for asking you. Try to tell that. One of the decomposition reaction which satisfies this condition and is used for preparing oxygen in the laboratory. Yaudu?
Potassium chlorate.
Potassium chlorate. Very
Potassium
good.
chlorine.
We all know that potassium chlorate undergoes decomposition reaction when it is heated. A conditional. Please do remember, this is used for preparing oxygen in the laboratory. So, I'll write that example. Write down. It is potassium chlorate, KClO3. Potassium chlorate. See, here I'm writing He, which is represented by delta. When it is heated, it decomposes into potassium chloride,
plus
KCl plus oxygen. Oxygen. Written up?
yes, sir.
Okay. Just go for balancing. Oxygen can be balanced.
Balance that. Yes, sir.
3. Here is 2
Three.
atoms. Let
Three.
us multiply this by 2 and this by 3. 6 atoms of oxygen, 6 atoms
This
of
also
oxygen.
oxygen.
And potassium has 2
Two
atoms.
chloride.
Let's write here 2.
Two
2 atoms of potassium. Chlorine. 2
Chlorine.
atoms of chlorine.
Chlorine.
Artha aitana?
Yes, sir.
For your reference in bracket, you may write this reaction is used for preparing oxygen in the laboratory. This is one of the use of decomposition reaction. And even we will go for using another chemical, another compound which is used for preparing the oxygen in the laboratory. That is, can you tell?
Lead iodide.
In this compound, PbNO3,
Lead
twice.
lead nitrogen.
Lead nitrate.
Lead nitrate.
Nitrate. Lead nitrate. When this lead nitrate is heated, we know that it is the color of the lead nitrate is white.
White.
When it is heated, it undergoes
green.
decomposition reaction
Pale
to
green.
produce the yellow color compound called
Pale green. Lead nitrate.
CB.
Lead oxide.
Lead oxide.
Brown fumes will be coming
Lead
out.
oxide.
O3. O2,
Nitrogen
O3.
dioxide.
Nitrogen
dioxide.
And
Nitrogen.
when a burning matchstick is brought nearby it, it burns brighter due to
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
O2.
sun.
Oxygen.
Is all right. O2. Right? Then we balance. Balancing.
Oxygen 6. 3 sir there.
2 PbNO3
2 PbNO3
plus 2 PbO give
is to 4NO2
Oxygen.
plus
Here, 2 plus 2 plus 1. How do you go for balancing?
Sir, 4NO2.
If it is to be 6.
2 PbNO3 twice
2
Sir,
PbNO
2 PbNO3
NO2 plus O2 sir.
gives
plus
rise to
4.
2
Right
PbO.
here,
4
2
NO2
PbNO3
plus
twice.
O2.
Prashant sir. Prashant sir.
Sir,
Some unwanted sound is coming.
continue, sir. Continue, sir. Continue.
2 PbNO3 twice.
Twice.
Right. Here,
2
2 PbO.
Light.
4 NO3.
Nitrogen, 2 atoms. Nitrogen,
4
4,
Four.
sir.
4
Nitrogen 4, sir.
Plus 2, 4.
4.
I can write
plus O2.
4. Oxygen, count it. 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12. Here, 4 2s are
Say
8,
balance, sir.
plus 2, 12. It is balanced.
Yes, sir.
This is also one of the chemical reaction used for obtaining oxygen. There are. Follow. Okay. Students, you are familiar with the metal called zinc, right? The color of the zinc is, it is silvery gray. Is it available as a zinc metal in the earth crust?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No,
It is
sir.
more metals are available in their ore form, right? Do you know what is the ore of the zinc, which you learned in your previous class? It is zinc carbonate.
Bicarbonate.
Zinc carbonate. When zinc carbonate is heated, zinc oxide is formed plus carbon monoxide is liberated. From this, you can also come to know that decomposition reaction is used for extracting the metals as well. This is another use. Decomposition reaction is used for extracting the metals. Followed? Okay. Like so many examples can be given. Only these three are enough. First one used for preparing
Preparing oxygen.
oxygen in the laboratory. Second one is the extraction of metals. No, good. This is calcium carbonate. CaCO3. Yes. What happens when calcium carbonate is heated?
Calcium.
Yes, calcium oxide is formed plus
Plus.
carbon dioxide gas is liberated. Right. And this reaction is used in the preparation of or in the manufacture of cement as well as glass. This is another use of decomposition reaction. Got it? See, with examples, I have been giving you the information regarding the uses of decomposition reaction. First one, it is used for preparing the oxygen in the laboratory. Second one, it is used in the extraction of metals. Third one, it is used in the manufacture of cement and glass. With respect to those, I've given you the examples as well. Now let me go through the next one, the decomposition reaction, which is carried out by passing electricity. Electrolysis. Electrolysis. Right. Second one, electrolysis. Electrolysis. Right, the definition. The decomposition reaction, which is carried out by passing electricity. The decomposition reaction, which is carried out by passing electricity. The decomposition reaction, which is carried out by passing electricity, is called electrolysis. Electrolysis.
Harsha PL, during the explanation, why are you unmuting your audio? Harsha PL.
Whenever I ask you the question, in that time only, please go for unmuting the audio. In between, don't want, because it will be disturbance for others. Have you written the definition? The decomposition reaction, which is carried out by passing electricity, is called electrolysis. Let me go for taking the exam. It is one of the most familiar example for electrolysis. It is electrolysis of water, which we come across in yesterday's class, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Electrolysis of water. Yeah, we will go for taking acidified water. You know that reason for this. If you go for taking only distilled water, we find it difficult to separate it. Yakantandre, distilled water is free from salts and minerals. It does not get split up into its respective ions. Therefore, electricity will not pass. If the electricity has to be passed, it should be a conductor. It should act as an electrolyte. That is why we will go for adding few drops of dilute HCl or H2SO4. Remember that. And this acidified water is taken. Then when you pass electricity, it decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. Can we say that this is also one of the chemical reaction used for preparing oxygen in the laboratory?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
or no?
sir.
Yes, oxygen barutala namage. Got it? It undergoes decomposition reaction to produce hydrogen and oxygen. And we also know that these hydrogen and oxygen are formed nearby the electrodes. One is positive electrode called anode, another one is negative electrode called
Cathode.
cathode. Hangandre nearby, nearby which electrode hydrogen is formed? Cathode or anode?
Cathode, sir.
Cathode.
Cathode.
Affinity towards negative electrode. So that is why hydrogen gas is formed near cathode. Got it? Whereas oxygen is affinity towards positive electrode. The positive electrode is,
Anode.
Anode.
just for your reference, I have written balance ಮಾಡೋಣ? Here, oxygen. Hydrogen is already balanced, but we want oxygen. Here is one atom, here is two. Hence, I should multiply this by 2. Oxygen is balanced. Next, hydrogen. 2 2s are 4.
Multiply by 2.
Then let us write 2. This is one example. Let me take another example. Ora. Yes. Dear students, one of the chemical compound used for extracting the metal called sodium. Could you tell what is that compound? ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? It is from the salt called sodium chloride. Have you seen the salt sodium chloride? Sodium chloride.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Aditi, yes.
Common salt.
Have you seen the sodium chloride? No.
Common salt.
Illa. Nishka?
Common salts.
Wait. Yes. Every day you are using, no? It is not possible to prepare the food without using salt. That common salt. Common salt is nothing but sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is the chemical name of common salt. Then what is the commercial name of this sodium chloride or common salt? What is the commercial name? You got it. Suppose you go to the shop. After going to the shop, will you ask, give one packet full of sodium chloride? Ankeltira?
Salt, sir.
Salt.
Common salt.
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 Very good. Very good. Common salt kodi anta keltira?
Only
No.
salt.
Iodized salt. Iodized.
Iodized.
Salt andre it is understood. It is sodium chloride only. Got it? Salt is commercial name of sodium chloride. Remember. Okay. This sodium chloride, the extraction ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. We will discuss about that in the chapter called metals and non-metals. In general information kododadre, this sodium chloride, which is available in molten state, is used for extracting sodium metal by a process called electrolysis. The molten state sodium chloride will be taken, that is NaCl, and we will pass electricity into this. Electricity, and it decomposes into sodium and chlorine, Na plus Cl. Clear? Got it? Whenever I ask you the question, a yes or no question, symbol should be used, either this one or this one. Okay. Yes. Sound out? Understood? Sound out? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Okay, good. Now let's go for balancing. Here 2 atoms of chlorine, here only 1 atom, here I'll write 2. Then 2 atoms of sodium, here 1 atom, here you can multiply 2. Next. Yes, students, let me give you one more example. Listen to. The metal which is used for domestic wiring, it is copper and aluminum, right? And particularly, aluminum wires are used as high tension wires, which are to be connected from one electric pole to another electric pole. And at the time we connect the electric poles for using that aluminum wires, it will be having shiny appearance. But after some days, after 3 to 4 months, when you observe that, it will lose its shiny appearance. It is due to the formation of a thin layer on the aluminum wire. Yaudado thin layer?
Aluminum oxide.
Aluminum oxide.
Very good, very good. This aluminum reacts slowly with oxygen present in the atmosphere and forms thin layer called aluminum oxide. And this aluminum oxide can be made to get decomposes into aluminum and oxygen by a process called electrolysis. Right? It is Al2O3 aluminum oxide on passing electricity into it. Electricity, then it decomposes into aluminum and oxygen. Balancing, again it is simple. Oxygen has 3 atoms, here 2 atoms. So let us multiply this by 3 and this by 2. Whereas aluminum, 2 2s are 4 atoms, here only 1 atom, you can multiply this by 4. Overall. Now we are moving to the third type of decomposition reaction, which is carried out in the presence of sunlight, called photochemical reaction, nothing but photolysis. Right, third one. Third one, photolysis. In bracket you may write photochemical reaction. Third one, photolysis. Photolysis. In bracket you may write photo, PHO, photochemical reaction. Photochemical reaction. Yeah, the meaning of photo, PHO, it is light. Here, decomposition reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight. Right, the decomposition reaction, which is carried out. The decomposition reaction, which is carried out in the presence of sunlight. Carried out in the presence of sunlight. Presence of sunlight is called photolysis. Photolysis. Bora. Now let me go for taking some example. Here I go for taking AgCl. What is AgCl? It is
Silver chloride.
Silver chloride.
chloride. When it is exposed to the atmosphere, in the presence of sunlight, it decomposes into silver
Silver
and chlorine.
chloride.
Silver and chlorine. Please do remember, this chemical reaction is used for getting black and white photography. Black and white photography. Remember this one. So this is another use of decomposition reaction. And now let's go for balancing. 2 atoms of chlorine, here is 1 multiplied by 2. 2 atoms of silver, right, multiply this by 2. That's it. Now let me go for taking another example. It is AgBr, silver
bromide.
This is in the presence of sunlight, it decomposes into silver and bromide. We are same again, go for balancing it. It is 2. Here is 2. These reactions are used for black and white photography. Dear students, from all these examples, we can list the uses of decomposition reactions, right? The first one is preparing oxygen in the laboratory. Second one is in the manufacture of cement and glass. Third one is in the extraction of metals.
In its or
Fourth
form.
one is for black and white photography. Got it? Adella example kodidini. You have to remember those. Let's go for just listing the uses. Uses of decomposition. So the first one, uses of decomposition reaction. Uses of decomposition reaction. Right. It is used, first one, to prepare oxygen in the laboratory. Oxygen in the laboratory. Second one, in the manufacture of cement and glass. In the manufacture of cement and glass. Third one. Heading. Just a third example, third one.
Extraction of metals from its ore form.
In the extraction of metals from their ores. Metals from their ores. And fourth one is in black and white photography. In black and white photography. So these are the important uses. So this is about decomposition reaction. Now we are moving to other 2 chemical reactions. Activities related to displacement and double displacement. These are very simple. Just I'll go for taking one example as given in the textbook. Right. Activities related to displacement reaction. Side heading. Activities related to displacement reaction. reaction. Dear students, we are very familiar with displacement reaction. Just to recall the definition, Chinmay MK, have you copied? It will be easy to follow. The chemical reaction in which an element present in the compound displaces another element which is more reactive. Or a decomposition, the chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces less reactive element present in the compound is known as displacement reaction. To know that whether an element displaces or not, I had given you the activity series. Activity series, it is even I had given you the code as well. The code is Tanaka, Mazi, PC. It is Kanaka, that is potassium, sodium,
Potassium,
sodium,
calcium,
calcium,
Mazi, magnesium,
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 Aluminum.
aluminum,
Zinc.
zinc,
zinc,
iron,
iron,
PC, lead
Copper.
and copper.
copper,
Copper.
Ag,
It is
Ag.
gold, silver and gold. Just only we have taken few metals. Now, one of the activity which is very familiar with respect to displacement reaction, that is iron A is to be kept in the beaker containing copper sulfate solution. What is the color of the copper sulfate solution? It is
Blue.
sky blue. When the iron air is kept in that, it undergoes chemical reaction, and when you leave it undisturbed for about 10 to 15 minutes, you will notice that the color of the solution changes to pale green, which indicates new solution is formed. That new solution is iron sulfate. This new solution is formed by displacement of copper from copper sulfate solution by iron metal, right? So now let me go for taking the same activity, and even it has been given in the textbook as well. Right, activity to show reaction between copper sulfate and iron is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction. Very simple way, but I am going to draw the figure as given in the textbook only. Listen. Very simple activity. We will go for taking some crystals of copper sulfate in the test tube. Then you'll go for adding water to it. Then closing its mouth, you'll just go for shaking it well. Then we will get copper sulfate solution. After preparing copper sulfate solution, it should be that the test tube should be fitted in the iron stand. Now I draw the figure related to it. Quick as possible. Should not waste your time. Right. Test tube. And it should be fitted to an iron stand. This is an iron stand. Drawing the figure in a very simplest way. You can draw like this. This is iron stand. Then to this iron stand, test tube is fitted. In that we have taken copper sulfate solution. Here. This is copper sulfate solution. CuSO4. You can write solution or aqueous. Then aqueous this solution is prepared by using water. That is why it is aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Then, very simple. Prepare copper sulfate solution in the test tube and fix it to the iron stand. First point is over. Next point. Take an iron nail and tie a thread to it. Then place it in the test tube containing copper sulfate. So now I'm going to place it iron nail. Draw marker. Iron nail, you should also draw. This is iron nail. Thread. After placing the iron nail in the test tube containing copper sulfate solution, leave it undisturbed for about 10 to 15 minutes. After 10 to 15 minutes, then remove the iron nail from the test tube. You'll notice that iron nail is coated with brown color. That is brown color that indicates it is copper is displaced. And when you observe the solution, you'll come to know it will be pale green color, which indicates iron sulfate is formed. Right, quickly. It is. Here the light is continued for. Again, test tube should be drawn. Draw test tube. Draw the test tube. This one only. Then next, the iron nail. Here, whatever the solution we'll get, this is iron sulfate. This is iron sulfate, FeSO4, and there will be brown coating. This brown coating is a red brown color. It is copper. Now let's go for writing the procedure. Very simple procedure. First point, right? Prepare copper sulfate solution. Prepare copper sulfate solution in the test tube. In the test tube. And fix it to the iron stand. To the iron stand. Next, second point is, then take a nail which is tied with a thread and place it in the test tube containing copper sulfate solution. Right. Take an iron nail tied with a thread, and place it and place it in the test tube. Test tube containing, just by listening to me, you can just go on writing. Take an iron nail tied with a thread and place it in the test tube containing copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution. Then leave it undisturbed for about 15 to 20 minutes. Leave it undisturbed for about 15 to 20 minutes in each time. We will go for, this is the procedure. Now we are going to write the observation. Varsha MS, what will be our observation? What is our first observation? Nothing to worry. You just tell. It is observed that the color of the solution changes from sky blue to
red brown color.
Pale green color.
pale green color.
Green.
Now, nail na observe madadaga, of course, there will be red brown coating on the nail. That indicates copper is separated. Okay, right. It is observe that I can write the observation one by one. First one, the color of copper sulfate solution changes to pale green, which indicates iron sulfate is formed. Next, next observation is red brown coating is on the nail on removing from the test tube, right? That indicates copper is separated, right? Red brown coating, it is observed that red brown coating on the iron nail, on removing from the test tube. So which indicates copper is separated. Okay, this is our observation. Why iron sulfate is formed? Because iron has displaced copper from copper sulfate. The reason is iron is more reactive than copper. Now we can write the chemical equation as, next point, chemical equation is Fe, this is solid, plus CuSO4, it is aqueous, gives rise to, you get FeSO4, this is aqueous, plus Fe. Iron is more reactive than copper, it displaces copper from copper sulfate solution to form iron sulfate solution and copper. So, right, this is displacement reaction. Hope you have written. Next one. not next activity, because only one activity is given, has been given with respect to displacement. Next, I am going to take an activity related to double displacement reaction, where the radicals present in the two compounds exchange mutually to form two new compounds. Alva? So, right, side heading, activities related to double displacement reaction. Activities related to double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. This activity is also very simple. Let me tell you that. Listen carefully. Dear students, you are very familiar with the two compounds. One is barium chloride and second one is sodium sulfate. What is the color of the crystals of barium chloride? Pawan, what is the color?
White.
It is white. And sodium sulfate?
White.
That is also white. But in their solution form, both will be transparent. Nothing but colorless. So we will go for using these two reactants to show the double displacement reaction. So right activity to show the reaction between barium chloride and sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate is double displacement reaction. To show the reaction between barium chloride and sodium sulfate is double displacement reaction. So now let us go for preparing barium chloride solution and sodium sulfate solution in two separate test tubes. Yeah. Let me go for drawing the test tube. Right. Yeah. First test tube. You know that how to prepare the solution. In first test tube, we will take barium chloride crystals, BaCl2. Then you go for adding water to it. By shaking it well, then barium chloride solution is formed. Barium chloride solution is formed. This is barium chloride. Next, in another test tube, we will go for preparing one more compound that is called sodium sulfate. Draw with me, don't waste your time. Here, we know that the color of the crystals of sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, is white. Then you go for adding water to the test tube, then shake it well. It becomes a solution. Now, listen. See, the first point is very simple. Prepare barium chloride solution and sodium sulfate solution in two separate test tubes. Next point is, Ashutosh, observe the book. You may go for adding this first, the solution in the test tube, second test tube to first one or first one to second one, however you want. Adding, so you will notice that a white precipitate is formed. Do you know what is that white precipitate? It is ಯಾವುದು?
BaSO4. BaSO4. Barium sulfate.
Barium sulfate. BaSO4 is formed. Now let me go for drawing the figure related to it. Draw a test tube in which barium chloride solution is BaCl2 solution, and we will go for adding sodium sulfate solution into it. Hence, here I am drawing one more test tube like this. This is sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. Then we will get new compound, that is barium sulfate, BaSO4 plus and sodium chloride solution, NaCl. So let's go for writing the procedure. Right, procedure, very simple. The first point is prepare barium chloride solution and sodium sulfate solution in two separate test tubes. Prepare barium chloride solution, and sodium sulfate solution in two separate test tubes. Test tubes. Next, second point. Add one of the solution in the test tube to another test tube. Add solution in one of the test tube to the other. This is the procedure. Procedure. Next, observation. What will be our observation? See, two colorless. It is observed that two colorless solutions react with each other to form white color. This white color is formed due to the formation of the precipitate called barium sulfate. So here the color of the solution changes to white due to the formation of the precipitate called barium sulfate. Got it? Pawan Kumar, are you understanding? Pawan Kumar. Pawan. Okay. Right. It is observed that the color of the solution, changes to white due to the formation of precipitate called barium sulfate. which is insoluble in the solution called sodium chloride, which is insoluble in the solution. Called sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. Now we may write the chemical equation with respect to this activity as black color. Right. Barium chloride, it is BaCl2 plus. Sodium sulfate, it is Na2SO4. See, the ions present in these two exchange mutually to form two new compounds. One is barium sulfate, BaSO4, and another one is sodium chloride, NaCl. We know that barium chloride, it is aqueous solution. Sodium sulfate, aqueous solution. Barium sulfate, it is solid, nothing but precipitate. Color of this precipitate is white. And NaCl, this is also aqueous.
Sir.
Over. Yes.
Sir.
Okay.
Excuse, sir.
Yes. Yes, please. Gautami, we are finished. Okay.
Sir, barium sulfate is white precipitate, sir.
It is white precipitate.
Yes, sir.
Aditi, UM. Alva? Have you written? Aditi? Okay. Nitish? Mukta, have you written?
Yes, sir.
Good. Yes. Yes, students, these are the 4 important types. Now, we will go for concentrating on some other chemical reactions, which are called sub-chemical reaction. We'll move on to them. Okay, you may stop your activities and concentrate here. Let your concentration be here. Dear students, now we are going to focus on some other subtypes of chemical reactions. Adya, Ruchika, let your observation be here. Okay. Look here. Dear students, I go for taking one of the chemical reaction which is most familiar, most commonly used, and most of the times we have used in this chapter. Which is that?
Magnesium oxide.
Yes.
Magnesium reacts with
Magnesium ribbon, magnesium metal, or magnesium strip. You know that the chemical reaction with respect to this, on burning of magnesium ribbon, it reacts with oxygen to produce
Magnesium
oxide. You will also notice that along with this magnesium oxide, when it is burning, it will also produce the light energy. Is it not? Which is nothing but heat energy also. So very good amount of heat energy is formed. Heat energy. But it is compound, it is just energy. Energy is also released. Similarly, and we are also very familiar with burning of the cooking gas. It is butane, alva. Butane, its chemical formula is C4H10. the main component of LPG, the main component of liquefied petroleum gas. Then, when a spark is touched to this, immediately it catches the fire by reacting with oxygen to form the compounds called yavyadu?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Another one is water. And here also very good amount of heat energy is being released. Not only that, even when you go for taking a main component of CNG, compressed natural gas, that is CH4. Then it reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. Along with that, heat energy. Right? Unwanted sound is coming from student. Please mute the audio. Okay. Now observe. Dear students, whether heat is present in our body, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ heat ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ?
Yes, sir.
Heat
Yes, sir.
listen here. We are alive because some amount of heat is maintained in our body. When our body is completely cooled, then you can say that person is no more. Hangadre, where does the heat come in our body?
Muscles.
That means there is some amount of energy is there in our body. Then how do you get that energy? How do you get that energy? Yes, by taking the food. But how this taking food will produce the energy? There is a process called the
Destination,
digestion.
sir.
Whatever the food we go for taking,
Nutrition.
that gets digested. There, the energy is formed. And just if I want to tell that in brief, whatever the food we are going to take, it contains vitamins, it contains carbohydrates, is it not? Many lipids will be there, many will be there. And whatever the food we are going to churning it, and it get cut into various fine particles, and this get converted into glucose.
Glucose.
Following the food what we are going to take, it is get converted into glucose, and this glucose will react with oxygen present in the cells of our body, and due to this reaction it produces the compound called carbon dioxide, and it will also produce water as well as the heat energy or energy in the form of heat. Here I'll write. First we go for taking the food and it get converted into glucose. It is C6H12O6, and this glucose will react with oxygen. Where this oxygen will be? It will be in the cells of our body. It will be the cells of our body. They react with each other to form carbon dioxide and water, and also energy is released in the form of heat. This process is known as respiration. Okay, whatever the examples I have given you so far, in all these examples, you can notice that heat energy is formed along with the products, right? If heat is evolved,
Exothermic
we call it
reaction.
as what type of chemical reaction? This is known as, it is called exothermic. Okay, exo means out, thermic,
Heat.
it is heat. So heat is evolved outside the system. That is nothing but after the chemical reaction, heat is evolved or heat is produced along with the products, and this is known as exothermic reaction. Got it? Please don't write, keep observing. A chemical reaction in which heat energy is formed along with the products is known as exothermic chemical reaction or simply exothermic reaction. So these are examples. Whatever the respiration or digestion, we say that is an example, is also an example for exothermic reaction. Now I'll take one more example. Look here. It is. We are very familiar with the chemical reaction which is used for preparing in the laboratory. Potassium chloride, KClO3, and when it is heated, Andre, all of a sudden it does not undergo chemical reaction. If it has to undergo chemical reaction, under what condition?
Heating.
Energy. Andre,
When heat is passed.
okay. Using this heat energy, it produces the compound called potassium chloride and oxygen. Okay, heat is absorbed. Not only this, even you may go for taking FeSO4. If you place the FeSO4 on a table, take some crystals of FeSO4 and place it on a table. Will it undergo the chemical reaction?
No, sir.
Does it undergo chemical reaction? No. So if
No,
it has
sir.
to undergo,
No, sir.
it should be heated. Here we are providing heat energy. Using this heat energy, absorbing this heat energy, it decomposes into ferric oxide, that is Fe2O3, plus sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide.
Trioxide.
In these chemical reactions, you can come to know that reactants undergo chemical reaction by absorbing the heat energy.
Endothermic reaction.
This is called, this type of chemical
Endothermic
reaction is
reaction.
called as endothermic. Endo, inside, thermic, heat.
Outside.
So heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed and the chemical reaction takes place. This is endothermic. So these are the two other types. Some more are there. I'll give you one by one. First one is exothermic. Second one is endothermic. Exothermic means the chemical reaction in which heat energy is evolved along with the products. Endothermic. Endothermic, it is a type of chemical reaction in which products are formed by using the heat energy. Artha aitala? Yeah. Please go for writing. Side heading. ಏನಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ some other types of chemical reactions. Right. Some other types of chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. In that, first one is exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. Please write the definition. It is the chemical reaction in which heat energy is formed or heat energy is evolved along with the products. Is called exothermic reaction. The chemical reaction in which heat energy is evolved along with the products is called exothermic reaction. And you may take these examples. Example, magnesium reacts with oxygen to produce magnesium oxide, then heat energy is formed. Take second example. Butane reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water plus heat energy. Next, methane reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. even heat energy is also formed. Then glucose reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water plus heat energy. ಈಗ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಬರೀ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇದೆ. I go for taking another one. That is, we all know that zinc reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride ZnCl2 plus hydrogen gas is liberated. Here also on touching the beaker or the test tube, will come to know that it is warm because there also heat energy is produced, right? Heat energy. Not only this, one more, most familiar one, it is quicklime, calcium oxide. It reacts with water vigorously to form calcium hydroxide solution, CaOH twice. And even when you touch the beaker, you feel that it's very hard. It is due to heat energy. Presence of heat energy. Followed? Yes. Copied. Dear students, so today we may stop up to here. Tomorrow I am going to continue the same chapter. And tomorrow's class also we are going to learn very important some other types of chemical reactions. And
Yes,
tomorrow you will be having the performance test
Sir,
for
excuse me, sir.
Google Form.
Sir,
And the syllabus is the
Sir.
chapter chemical
sir,
reactions and
excuse me,
equations.
sir.
Yes, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
I should write that one, sir.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Please cite. Cite, please, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Andre. Oh, okay. And regarding the worksheets, please don't neglect to write the worksheets. Every day we have been observing, but some students are neglecting. Please don't do that. And even for Google Form test also, everybody should attend because they are useful in the examination point of view. The useless ansidra matra ನೀವು ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. Adya copied. Shashank Machar copied. Prem P. Kaleshwar, Jayant K.A. Naksha VD. Yes, good girl. Yes. Finished up? Yes. Now it is time up. So let us conclude the class. Again, I have been reminding you, please work out the concepts, whatever we have covered today. And everybody should submit the worksheet. I have particularly this chapter. Every day you have to glance the chapter from the beginning. Hangadre matra nimage chana nenapirutte. Even for reminding that in yesterday's worksheet, I had written some points to be recalled. Alva, aduna ನೀವು ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ recall ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. I'm not asking you to practice. Just you have to go through them. ಏನೇನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದು ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Plans ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. Okay, with this, let us stop the class. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.